Okay, let's see if I can make this happen, make this work. Little impromptu studio recording here. All right, so the word search. Been working on this for I don't know, about 4 or 5 days. Came back to the word search with the goal of doing a really simple solve. I just sometimes I think about the end before we even really left the beginning. I think we're still all in the beginning of this phase right now, and I'm picturing. I've seen how JCB has handled some of his media. We've seen, a little bit how his press team operates. What kind of venues he likes. What kind of shows that he goes on to, right? So I'm kind of picturing in my head years from now, when all of them are said and done, or you can brainstorm this with a couple months down the road or a year down the road when the first one's found, and JCB is sitting down across the anchor, and they're saying, okay, so wait, where did you hide it? Or can you explain to us the first one? He's gonna have to walk through his solve with a news anchor and kind of introduce the solve and the concept to all of America. And if it's the first, second, or third box found, there's still other boxes that are left. And so I'm just thinking about this. If he starts going, let's just use the word search as an example. All right, if he starts going, and this is again, this is just my opinion, my humble opinion. No offense to anyone out there. I hope no offense is taken, because I know we're all wrong until we have a box. So, with all the apologies said, I'll go ahead and say what I'm trying to say here. If JCB starts out saying, okay, first, you have to, find the words, and then, there's stuff left over. Okay, and then you play, Pac-Man, like the 80s game is mentioned in the book, and you got to eat the letters. Okay, yeah, we're on board. Then there's a map. Okay, maybe, we're on board. And then, and then you take that map and you reverse it. Okay, maybe, so it's not too bad, reverse it. And then you play another game or another map. And then, you have to find images. Okay, find some images in there, and then you have to research and know about Latin, or about ancient history, or about medieval times. Okay, and then this obscure person or this historical figure, they had this and that and that. I don't know. It's a lot of talking. I firmly believe you're going to be able to sum up the solve. And again, I have no basis for this, or any basis that you could say I have is just his interviews and what he says. How he describes the treasure and where it's hidden. You don't have to be a genius. Everything you need to know is in the book. Just take book, water, and shoes. Go out and find it. He does caution you. Hey, don't go boots on the ground without, having a roadmap, without a plan. Make sure you know the area before you just run out there. I guess, is anyone picking up what I'm putting down? I'm trying to say, I just think that we're overthinking as a group, as a collective, and I'm guilty of it myself. I've definitely participated in sessions where I'm brainstorming just far out the wall, movie quotes and games played in movies and obscure levels, and it's fun, it's entertaining, and I'll probably still continue to do that. But do I really think that at the end of the day, that's going to be the solve? Let's just game it out a little bit, because I think everything JCB has said and done so far, it hasn't contradicted anything in the book yet. Some have questioned some of his moves. I don't think we can begin to question his motives, but again, nothing he said has contradicted himself yet, and I don't want to assume that he is going to. And so if the solve comes out and it's really complicated, or it takes 5 minutes to explain to someone, 5 minutes to explain to a studio audience, 5 minutes to explain to an anchor, or JCB is not going to be able to. We've already seen other news anchors, other media is covering it without having JCB there. So do you want? Is some person going to be able to stumble through this solve, even if JCB lays it out with? How many pages would you need? How many pages do you think he would need to write out for this solve? So, For me, I'm trying to just for all the boxes think of, let's go back to simple. And arguably maybe I'm too simple for some of my solves. Maybe they're too easy. But I just wanted to shift a little bit, get my brain working in a little bit different way from what it had been going down, because I was going down some deep rabbit holes, and they're fun and it's engaging. It's still pleasurable for the brain to work on these complex puzzles and to think you have something. But that's not what I did today or the past couple days, and what I'm going to share with you. So really long 5-minute introduction. I apologize. Normally I spill the beans what we're going to talk about in the beginning, and I don't think I really did that. So this video is about the Past and Future box, specifically how I got to where I'm at. And it even has, I waited so long because I wanted to have a couple trails at the end that people could go and explore, and I have that now. So okay, so here we go, starting out. And then, so I'm gonna take a couple minutes to explain it, and then what I have, and at the end I'm gonna try to practice what I preach, and see if I can summarize the whole thing in a nice tidy 30-second tidbit. Maybe that might be too long. All right, so here we go. You got the word search. All right, you do the word search, you find the words. If you don't know how to do a word search, and if you Google and just take the first 3 hits, all right, there's an AI now. I don't know if you can turn it off, but now if you use Google, the first hit's going to be an AI, which is hit or miss. But the AI will say, find the words that are hidden. They can be backwards, upside down, backwards, diagonal, vertical. Doesn't say anything about plurals. Doesn't say anything about using a word that's the majority of another word. For example, the 9 and 19 doesn't say anything about that. If you scroll down, you'll find Wikipedia. It's the top 3. If you click on Wikipedia, they'll say the same thing that the AI said. Letters in a box with grid lines. You find the words that are hidden many times. They're backwards, they're diagonal, they're vertical. Again, doesn't say anything about excluding or including plurals. Doesn't say anything about you finding a smaller word or words that shares the same letters, I guess is the best way to say that. And then it goes from there. It goes into more complicated types of word searches, scrambles or snake finds. And then it even goes into, from there, the next, I think the 3rd or 4th subsection in the Wikipedia on word search is secret messages. And the way they describe secret messages, you can check this with Wikipedia, I'm pretty sure. It's groups of words. For example, all the vertical words, all the horizontal words. And that's what really led me down this path. It's just straight from Wikipedia, just common crowdsourced knowledge. And again, I know Wikipedia can be edited by people. And I did see early on when people were looking up the rules for the word search, I did see, I guess in official tournaments or in certain leagues, they have more defined rules on plurals and on, if the letters are used in a majority of word, they can't be used for another word. I do understand that, but it's not one of the top hits. So again, very simple, very basic. That's how I'm approaching it. Okay, so all that. So you do the word search. You find a bunch of words, and you look for nothing less than 3. So no 3 letters or less, and ignore some proper nouns. Which this one gave me a little bit of a pause, because if you have a solve, and if you look back and say how many proper nouns did I ignore, and it's only like 1 or 2, I don't know if that's, because why would he say ignore some proper nouns if it's just 1 or 2? Ignore 1 proper noun, ignore 2 proper nouns. If someone says, grab some candy, or we're gonna go, I don't know, I can't think of a good example right now, but some just implies to me more than 1 or 2. And again, it could be nothing. I could be making a mountain out of a molehill, but that's just something that gave me pause. So the proper nouns that I'm ignoring are Ohio, Erie, Crete. So that's at least 3. And then I have some other proper nouns with the scramble that are also ignored, which adds me up to like 7. So I feel pretty good about that number. And again, there should be some proper nouns that you keep, right? Because, or else they'd say ignore all proper nouns. So some to keep, and so I use, Cali, California, which there's been some debate on that. Okay, so getting a little bit long-winded here. I need to make this short. So you do the word search, you find a bunch of words. So now you're looking to group them, all right? And you can, I think you look, because if you find all the words, if you look for the scramble and the leftover words, if you find all the words that you're supposed to, you can't really find a message, or at least a long message. You can find a couple words, which there's two ways, which I think is indicative of a good puzzle, that there's, or not, maybe not a good puzzle, but an accessible puzzle. Let's use that word. Indicative of an accessible puzzle. There's a couple different ways to go about solving it. So if you find all the words and you start to notice that there is a message in the scrambled letters, then you might change up the words that you keep. All right, that was the way I originally did it in first. Or if you're a different kind of brain, you can look at the words that you found, see if there's a clue in there first, because every step you're looking for clues. Man, a lot of numbers, a lot of geography-themed words: dirt, park, west, north, water, yada yada. And then you might get the hint of grouping them, all right, trying to arrange words together, arrange them to a sentence, arrange them in pairs, and then you'll get the hint of, okay, let's try to see if we can group them by numbers. And I think the vertical might be the giveaway here. It's, I think, one of the closest to total words you can find to match a number, 3. And then from there, you're going to have to do a little bit of finagling, or you'll have to choose and decide, because I think there's like 5 diagonals, and we only need to keep 3 if you follow the method I'm proposing. And I've got it written down right here. That's why I wrote it down. And if you go off of Fords, there's 9, but you can find up to 12. At least I think you can maybe find more than 12, but I found 12 pretty easily. For backwards, you can also find 13, but I ended up going with 11. So the numbers that I decided on were forward, there's 9 words; backwards, there's 11; vertical, there's 3; diagonal, there's 3. And how did I get those? By using the zeros. The zeros is the indicator, all right? Which you could kind of get off of if you're looking at the words by the way they're grouped. The round liar, round zeros. I refer to zeros a couple times in some of the clues and solves as round liars, because they're not really, they're a liar. They're saying that there's something that they're not. So that's something that helped me decide, because if you use other words, eons, if you don't use zeros, if you use less, if you use dose, if you tone, then your total of O's, I need to remember to keep them straight, O's for zeros, then your number of O's will change the count, and you want them to be at 19. Why 19? Because of all the letters, once you start grouping the words that you found in groups, the ones that are left over, if you do 9, 11, 3, and 3, you're left over with 5, you're left over with 0, and you're left over with 19. And you can try to make them work. Like, you can try to... 19 really doesn't work with anything else, except for if you do what's called horizontal words. And here's what I don't like about using all the horizontal words, is early on, I actually had it in one of my solves, there was 19 horizontal words. All right, but that means we're double counting the words, because you're counting backwards and you're counting horizontal, which means that the word is counted twice. And I wanted to keep it clean, keep it once. Very easy to solve, because then, well, why can't other numbers be counted twice? So if you keep the rule as each word is under one subcategory or covered by one number, it keeps things neat and clean, and it allows you to get to the 19 zeros that are left over, and all that's. And so it allows you to make a scrambled message, all right? So this is my message. I know this isn't really a popular one. I know a lot of people have different ones. That's fine. This is just, if you're still listening, you obviously want to hear what I'm going to say, so play along with it. There are 5 clues in this word search, but do not tell anyone them. So there are 5 clues in this word search, but do not tell anyone them, period. 3 are up, period. So 3 are up, period. On special bends and turns, just remain steady to complete the mission. And why did I break it up that way? Because I wanted more clues for boots on the ground. We've found, and I've participated, and I still will participate in the other solves, the popular mainstream ones and some of the off-kilter ones, because it's fun. And that's what this is all about, fun. But if you follow those out, a lot of the clues and hints and stuff that we're finding and puzzles all have to do with the word search and all lead to the next puzzle. There's not a lot that I've seen that people have shared publicly, at least with me that I've been listening, that relate to boots on the ground. So I wanted to do my solution that had a good chunk of boots on the ground clues and hints, actionable intelligence, I guess you could call it. And so that's why I wanted the last part of the secret message, the anagram, the scramble, to have to be boots on the ground. And that's why I chose on special bends and turns, just remain steady to complete the mission. Because a lot of the trails have a lot of switchbacks if they're dealing with elevation, which is going to be in California, tons of elevation. And those are special bends and turns. And I mean, just the way that trails are designed in general, they're very windy, right? Because they try to follow the contour of ridges, of hills, of water, rivers, whatever. So that's what I have. One more time, there are 5 clues in this word search, but do not tell anyone them. 3 are up. On special bends and turns, just remain steady to complete the mission, all right? Gives you some good information. It gives you that there's 5 clues you're looking for, so you're looking for more clues. Do not tell anyone them. Tells you that 3 are different, 3 are up, so you're separating the clues that you're finding. And then it tells you a boots on the ground clue. So on special bends and turns, when your boots on the ground, just remain steady to complete the mission, all right? All right, so now we're getting into the groupings. So Ford, there's 9 words, and I have 19 round liar zeros. So they're the O's. So there's 19 round liar zeros. So almost every step, I have 2 or 3 things that kind of lead you to it, which I think is key. A puzzle should kind of lead you, should nudge, should guide. And especially one that you describe as you don't need to be a genius, or I've been too obvious, or too many clues, whatever. So 19 round liar 0 is the O's. Sapphire is a lake. It's a very blue color, and it's a name of a lake that I'm going with. Here's a fun one. So, and I changed this at the very last minute. So Corey, there's a how do I want to do this? Okay, I'll do. Okay, so sorry, do it this way. So all the Ford words, here's how I've got them broken down. 19 round liar zeros, comma, sapphire, comma, Corey, comma, square, comma, line, comma. Which I like that besides the grouping of the getting you to know about the zeros, each word is special. They're not grouped together. And so on the map, which if you ask me, I'll share it. It's easier to share in the Discord or in TikTok or on any other social media. But I can figure out a way to get it to you. I made this little map. And so Horse Mountain Mine, type in Horse Mountain Mine. And there's some pretty good footage, videos and photos of someone exploring it. It's an older quarry or mine. Again, it's the data I found was inconclusive, but they did do ore processing on site. So even if it was a mine, they processed on site, which is kind of like what a quarry can do under some definitions. So that's my quarry, is Horse Mountain Mine. I had quarry something else. I had stone. I had quarry and line together. So quarry was like stone. So stone line would be a ridge. That's a couple jumps. I didn't really like it. I like this was much cleaner. But maybe your solve will work that out. You use quarry and line, and it makes ridge from wordplay and connecting the words. Square. So this is pretty cool. It was staring at me right in the face. Look at Northern California on a map. Look at the Six River Forest area, Six Rivers area. You'll see the Hoopa. Is I'm pronouncing it right? You'll see the Hoopa Reserve, Indian Reserve. It's a square. It's right there. It's a square, and it's right there on the map. So that's I like that. I believe that for this puzzle, for a couple other puzzles too, but you need a map in front of you. JCB talks about maps. Maps come into play. You need to look at the word search, look at the clues, and have a map, either electronic or a paper one, right? So we've got a Horse Mine Mountain. We've got the square. What else we got? Sapphire Lake is the actual place, not too far away. Those are all the main ones for there. All right, yeah, so, and those, they make a nice little triangle, nice little tight area together. So now we're gonna move on to, I should have did a roadmap for how I'm gonna do this video. I do in my head, and sometimes I bring it, sometimes I don't, but I go off script a lot. So backwards words, all right? You got 12, 3, 9, lilac, northwest, state, peaks, water, dirt, walk. And here's how I divided them. So northwest state is Northwest California. That's the state we're in. Look for a peak with 12 letters in the name. Why are we counting letters? Because for vertical, for the 3 words for vertical, which are 11, 3, and count, 11 and 3 are used, so we only have count that's left. So what are we counting? We've got to count something. We counted the zeros, but we already have things to tell us that. Are we counting lakes? Are we counting quarries? Are we counting rocks? Are we counting squares? Are we counting lines? No, we're going to count letters because we're looking for a peak. And how do we decide what peak? If I just told you a peak and didn't tell you which way to choose one, you might choose Mount Shasta as the tallest one. You might choose, I don't know, the most popular one. But we're looking for a peak with 12 letters in the name in this area, the area defined by the other clues. The area is defined by lemon state divider. Lemon state, California, if you type in what state's the lemon state, California is going to pop up for a car reason, for the California's lemon law, which he talks about his grandmother's tallying cars, so I don't know if that's the connection there. But if you Google which state has the most lemons or produces the most lemons, it's California. So that's 2 things that point to lemon state, which I like. And lemon state divider, I went with divider, not border, because divider is actually to divide. Yes, you can say a border divides states, but if you want to divide a state, you're looking for roads or rivers or mountain ranges. And so a nice road that splits California almost vertically is the 5, right? So going back to backwards, all right, we're in Northwest California. We're looking for a peak with 12 letters in the area northwest of the 5, right? And we find Hayfork Valley. So Hayfork-Bally, Hayfork Valley is a nice peak that's in that triangle range by the other clues. Yeah, so and we've covered the other one. We covered vertical, 3 vertical, count, and diagonal, the lemon state divider, right? So now we've kind of got all the words grouped together. The only one not really used is lilac. So everything else is used. On the map, I use lines to kind of create a boundary for us to, and it's really cool. Let me pull up the map again. Maybe I'll be able to post it on here. I should be able to. But I've got the angle recreated from the coin, which everyone says, you need to use. You could or you couldn't. And I've got a nice little search area. So now that we have our area, and special thanks to Simba and Cake for helping me last night. Like, just because you have an area, like, it's not going to be 15 miles in the backwoods. Like, it's not, like, that's not going to work. So looking at trails in this area, all right, so you have China Gulch to Grizzly Lake Trail. It's like 15 miles. You've got Boulder Creek and Canyon Creek trails, which are together for most of the part. It's like 17 miles. Both of those are too long. Now, just because the trail's too long doesn't mean you have to cross it out, because you can just do the first couple miles, right? You could park at the trailhead, and then you could go. You don't have to go all the way into the backcountry. So I keep those in play, and if anyone has time to go out there when the weather's nicer, I think one of the access roads is closed right now due to weather, but I definitely would love for people to go out and check them out and see maybe you can find the box. The other trail that I have that it's outside of this immediate area, but the arrows are pointing toward it, is North Ridge Trail Loop. And I really like this one because so many words fit it. North Ridge, right? So that goes back to my stone line or quarry line. What is a ridge but like a line of condensed gravel and dirt, I guess. I don't know the definition of ridge or mountain. Just earth, a line of raised earth. trail, dirt walk, trail, and loop, right? Round. So that's like 5 or 6 words that are all in this one trail. It's 2 miles. It's right outside Eureka, like the edges of Eureka. Very, very accessible. Very easy trail. Almost too easy. But it does have redwoods, which I like. I really wanted redwoods. When you see this map that I will share, you'll see I overlapped a lavender circle, which is the redwoods that grow close to the coast, and a blue circle. Blue circle came to me from all the fires. I looked up historical data, northcalifire.com or something. Looked for areas that hadn't been hit by fires in the last 5 years, and then a few years further back. But I plotted them out, and this area, what's this called? This Trinity Alps Wilderness, which I like 3, because 3 is repeated and 3 is the magic number. This area has been pretty safe over the past years from fire, right? But if you're looking for even more, I mean, this North Ridge Trail Loop, I mean, it's close enough to civilization that any fire would get stomped out pretty quick. And there's a couple streams that run around it, but you don't have to cross them for the access to the trail. So all those lead me to believe that. Okay, we're wrapping up this video. Went a little bit longer than I wanted. In recap, hey, so what are the 5 clues, all right? California is a clue that's up, because it's up on the top. Count is a clue that's up. Again, it's up on the top. And I like the treasure box with the message, right? This pulls into D&D and adventure. There's a treasure box hidden in the word search itself, and it tells you reward at interior wall. See one of my older videos for that one. So that's 3, California, count, treasure box. All those clues are up. What are the 2 more clues? All right, you have forward words that create a message and the backward words create a message. I don't really consider the vertical and diagonal messages. They're more indicators and clues. I wouldn't do forwards, backwards, diagonal, vertical. I wouldn't count those as 4. I'm only counting 2 of the messages from the forward words and the backward words because those are actual instructions. All right. Oh, essay, we got to include, that's sarcastic. I shouldn't say that. But here's what I'll say. We want to use the chapter themes and the stuff introduced in the chapter for this, all right? So, hey, Pac-Man, we're eating up the letters to, we can do Joe's solve about line. Line's very important. It plays into the map that I'm about to show you. I don't really line them up, except that I do in Excel, which I use Excel. Zork, we're following directional commands in the word search with north and west. Also, we're finding directional commands to find the treasure box. D&D, we've got 3 levels of layers. We're looking for finding loot. We're doing a dungeon crawl, finding the treasure box, counting all the O's, right? Collecting them for a quest. And adventure, finding the Easter eggs. You got the zeros that we're looking for, the treasure block, plus we're wandering around the map that we're plotting out that we're looking, which could also be in D&D as you go to different towns and you ask the locals for another clue or for another quest. So I think it all sums up. Oh, here's the challenge, right? Can I sum everything up that I said in a minute? I'm thirsty. My drink's in the other room. Okay. All right. So you're sitting down. Hey, Estee, you were in this treasure hunt. What was the solve for that one chapter? Oh, the solve? All right, time it. Start now. The solve? Well, there's a word search. You just had to find the words in the word search. You found numbers also. You had to find the numbers gave you a clue of to which direction the words were facing. And then there were leftover letters. They had a scrambled message. And from that, it led you right to the direction of where to look. You had to do some boots on the ground searching. And one of the messages that was hidden allowed you to find it. Oh, and there was even a hidden treasure box in the word search. How cool is that? And if you unscrambled the words around there, it led you to the clue on how to find the gold, the treasure. What was that, 30 seconds? I think, I don't know, man. I'm still working on it. I'm still developing it. I'm going to rest my brain on this for a little bit, but I'll go back to it. Tear it apart in the comments. Let me know what you think. I wish I could have explained it a little bit smoother, but this is like the first time I put it all down on film. So if we return, it should be a little bit better. All right, it's lunchtime.
Now listen, all you treasure hunters, searching all around for plunder. Do you need some help to be your best? There's something that you're trying to find, but you're about to lose your mind. So come on, listen in to Estes Quest. Estes Quest, the show where he'll be sharing clues. Estes Quest will chase away your searcher's blues. He's solving puzzles with a smile. He'll help your theories pass the trial. He's welcoming you here to be his guest. Now listen close and you'll be told the clues to where he's hiding gold. So come on, listen in to Estes Quest. Come on, listen.